Good morning everyone and welcome to another early release, well not actually early, on time release video, because this is the earliest time that I get to release it, because this is the earliest time that people can potentially get the tank. Now, basically this is the Kunze Panzer. The Kunze Panzer is a German tier 7 light tank and it doesn't feel like it. It's I can't really describe it in the best of words. As you can hear, I'm mainly using sounds for it. It's not that bad a tank, but it's definitely not a great tank. It can handle ridgelining like this quite nicely, but it struggles a bit with actually penning people. Even though the pen isn't even all that bad, I just find that a lot of the shots that I have in this tank are not going as intended, let's put it that way. And it just feels sluggish to drive. It's not sluggish or anything, but it's supposed to be a light tank, and I would expect it to be more mobile and faster than it is. That being said, I actually do kind of enjoy the tank. I just don't see it as a light at all. And I think that that's mainly the key to driving this thing, is to not expect it to be a light either. Except for maybe the armor, because people tend to shoot you and then pen you. Like here, like you see, the pen isn't all that bad. I mean, this is not the best example, but still. I derped that shot because I'm not paying attention to where I'm driving, because I haven't driven this tank enough to really understand it, and basically they changed it from the testing and I can't talk about what it was like before then and everything, so this is, for me, it's a new tank as well. But yeah, like I said, the pen isn't all that bad, the mobility isn't all that bad either, but it's not a light. And this is the tank that you will be working really hard for if you actually want to go and get it. Which, in my case, of course, I do want, because I'm a collector and I want all tanks in the game eventually. So basically, my having a rock wall here is what is saving me here. But it's sort of like something that I've said before in videos. This is a bulletproof tank as long as people aren't shooting it. And that's very true. You will bounce some shots in this tank. It has that capability, especially depending on your position and everything. It's just eh. Like in this case, my teammates are fast disappearing and I'm not really eager to peek out very far myself. Not with those tanks there and them being as healthy as they are, because I'm pretty worried, especially when my last remaining teammate rushes in like this. So I actually decide to just not go there, because we have 2 bases and that means that we have a chance of winning as long as I just survive. But that's the thing, I don't like driving this way. I don't like sort of running away from there to just survive and win in that way. I can't help him, because that would have just meant that I would have died as well. So that's basically the thing about this tank. It's not that bad a tank, it's definitely not a great tank, and it definitely doesn't feel like a light at all. So that's the thing to keep in mind with it. I've got 2 more games, so I will be talking about other stuff in the event as a whole and everything. But yeah, for the tank itself, I will get it because I will want it for my collection, and that's about where things end, so to speak. And the funny thing is that on its own, this tank is actually quite balanced, because the thing is that we always complain about wargaming making OP tanks and just basically ruining the game that way and everything, and you can honestly say that this tank definitely isn't that. So there is that, and situationally it can be great if people are not focusing on you. You can see how much damage I did. I got a cuddle battle for that, and I had a very toxic teammate as well. But yeah, what I mean is that this tank, it's very situational. If you can get the shots in, if you can get not shot at, make people miss or have the occasional bounce, it can perform nicely. But there are quite a few tanks, especially in this tier, that I would very much prefer over this tank when it comes to light tanks, or even medium tanks, because, well, we are talking about tier 7, so that's the Dracula as well, which is classified as a medium, but it drives way more like a light than this one, so that's saying something as well. Of course, Dracula is quite OP. Well, it's not overpowered at all. I mean, it can die very easily, but you all know what I mean. It can be strong. And that is something that I feel that is definitely not the case with this one. Now, basically, comparing the tanks to the other light tanks in its tier, it has basically less DPM, it has a little bit more pen and a little bit more alpha, a higher caliber, and that's basically where the good news ends, because pretty much the gun depression, yes, compared to some tanks, the gun depression is 10 degrees, and that is better than, for instance, the LTTB and the Type 62 and the Maid, and the same as the M41 Walker and everything, and not counting the little French light tanks, because those are just very different tanks. But what I mean is that it's nothing special there either, and the fact that the TAC 3 light tanks are overall just better than this, that's also saying something. And it's the same with the premium tanks. Again, it's not that bad a tank. I would not dub it a light tank, and that also influences how it drives and everything. Now, how to get this thing? Basically, what you need to do is damage. Basically, every day for the duration of the event, you get to play 10 battles. You get to say the battles need to start now. So you yourself tell the game when to start counting your damage for those battles. And from what I understand, you get like 1 case per 100 damage that you do. So basically, the more damage you do, the more cases you get, the more stuff you can get done, so to speak. Because you need a whopping 3,300 average damage if you want to get pretty much both the tank and the rare camo that you can get in this event. Which is a lot. Like, the super unicorns can potentially do this, but all in all, I think most people will not be able to actually get all of that for free. But if you want just the tank, you need to get 2,450 average damage for those 2 battles for all the days during the event. Which is still asking a heck lot from a lot of people. But it is possible. Yeah, it is possible, but that's about where it ends. And you have to get lucky, you have to get RNG and all of that. And yeah, I understand that people like skills-based events. I'm not one of those people. I'm also not a fan of the grind as if your life depends on it events, because that's also not fun. So basically, I can't be made happy with events like this. But yeah, that being said, skill-based events, I get that, especially for the unicorns, it can be great fun to participate in these kind of things and to just be able to get a tank for free for that. And of course, if you are not capable of getting all the damage that you need during those sort of like calibration battles, let's call them that, you can always complete the event for gold. So you can also gold noob it, and knowing me and how well I've been playing lately, that's probably where I'm going to end up at. I will probably gold it just to have my collection complete again. Even though the tank isn't that great or that special, I will still want it to complete my collection. I have to be honest there. But focusing on the tank thing and basically the event where you need to do damage and everything, I always see people asking, what tank should I drive for this? In this case, yeah, I think tier 10 would be the tier to drive it in, mainly because of the fact that you're just more likely to do more damage in tier 10, or tier 9. Tier 9 is fine as well. But basically, the more damage you do, the less gold you have to pay to actually get the tank, and the more chance you have to actually get the tank for free. Now, keeping that in mind though, basically drive what tank you are comfortable in. Like, for instance, one of my favorite tanks in the whole game right now is the Spaghetti 65. Brochetto 65, I should say, but Spaghetti 65. And the reason that I say this is that there's people that really struggle in that tank. For me, I'm the most likely to get the damage done there that I want to do in order to complete the event as goldless as possible, basically. And in this case, I made such noob mistakes. I'm playing it very forwards and everything went to hell. But hey, I'm still alive, so there's that. I even let myself be on fire because I clicked the wrong repair kit and everything. But yeah, back to the damage thing. Drive the tank that you feel comfortable in. Because the thing is that if you feel comfortable in a tank, you're actually more likely to do more damage in the tank. And as a result, you will overall perform better, do more damage, and just need less gold to complete the event. So that's basically what I want to give you when you're trying to decide what tank you should drive for this event. Drive whatever you are the most comfortable in. That's it. I would advise that to be something in tier 7, in tier 9 or tier 10, because you just meet the most HP there, so you're more likely to be able to do more damage. And the thing is that just the HP pool is a lot lower the lower the tier you go. So keep that in mind as well. And there's more to be had, of course. You have the tank that you can get, you have the camo that you can get some premium days, some gold boosters. And basically, like I said, if you want a tank in the camo, you need 3300 average damage over the course of all those 10 battles over all those days. So that's going to be a very tough pickle unless you're like a super unicorn. But for the camo alone, you only need 1150 average damage, which is still not going to be easy for a lot of people. So that's also something to keep in mind. The thing is that with the game as it is, like, I'm speaking from a 67% player perspective, and I know that I can deal, like, on average 2k damage, let's put it that way. I can comfortably do that on bad days as well. But the average player is more used to losing more than they win, and that's also something to keep in mind, because these kind of events are a lot harder for them, or a lot more expensive for them, if they actually want to complete it. So that's also something that I always try to keep in mind, because this event, that is why I'm not that big a fan of skill-based event. It is not easy. It is hard for a lot of people, and we have this guy, the Yo, that is basically keeping me from being able to do anything and just blocking me sideways. It's not like blocking me, but she's not letting me play, so to speak. Now, I get around him, and then I start doing things and shooting people again and all, but yeah. Overall, the tank, is it worth all the hassle that it's going to be? No, it's not. Is it worth all the gold you might have to spend on it? No, it's not worth that either. If you are a collector, will you want to get it? Of course you do. I mean, I do. And that's basically it for this review of the event and everything. Don't spend loads to get this tank. Just don't. But if you can get it for free or nearly free, then yeah, of course it's a nearly free prem or a free prem. So there is that. But that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and I'll see you guys the next time again. Bye!